It used to be all about records, as in the record of the event of people playing music in a room. And now it's about sunglasses and marketing, running shoes, you choose. I wish I could take credit for those. Okay, for real now. At Bartender Atlas, we run and help run a lot of bar-related events. Our big one, the Toronto Cocktail Conference, is only 3 months away, which I know sounds like forever, but, I mean, you're not the one organizing it. One of the not-so-gentle reminders, recommendations, let's say, that we make to our sponsors for Toronto Cocktail Conference is that any branded swag be something useful. No single-use sized cups, no sample cups, no straws. We want things that our guests are actually going to use at least once, maybe keep for a while before hitting a donation station. Socks are great, tote bags are great. I got a monogrammed knife once, that was great. T-shirts and hats, as long as they're, actually great. Notebooks have always been the best, though. The dozens of notebooks that I've been getting at tastings over the last however many years is the only reason I ever remembered anything. I guess the timer app on my phone also deserves a nod here. But those notebooks, they get full. And then what? How many menus from 10 years ago do you need to revisit? How many meeting notes from like a one-off event do you need 5 years later? So then you have 33 or 45 or 78 full notebooks with logos and stickers all over them, sitting in a closet with dozens of cocktail recipes in them, just collecting dust. So what do? Well, you go through all those notebooks. You look in your closet and you dig everything out. Everything, dating back to 2008, and you pick out the drinks that you remember as giving guests goosebumps. At least that's what I did. It took most of last summer, but I didn't just collect the recipes. I took a minute with each recipe to remember what I was into at the time, what inspired the drink that I was working on, what spirit or liqueur was I so stoked on, who had I been drinking with, or who had I seen behind a bar that sparked an idea, and why, really, why did I take so long making one specific ingredient for a drink that was only going to be on a menu for like 2 months or 2 nights? So, we at Branching Out decided to give these drinks some airtime. Are podcasts on the air? Not really, right? We talked about that. For this episode, I'm going to tell you the story of a few drinks, as well as the recipe and the method to make them. Then, you go try it out. Make the drinks. Fuck with the specs a little bit. Put yourself in my shoes from the time that I was making these drinks. More than that, though, keep these drinks and this project in mind when you're designing a cocktail list. Think about why you wanted so badly to infuse green cardamom into pisco or whatever. Remember way back in episode 1 of Branching Out, where I talked about when you open a bar, you can have whatever plans you want, but you need to be ready to adjust when the time comes? We're going to call this a small adjustment. We aren't abandoning the whole concept. This is just like a happy hour menu. Next week will be all about mentorship again, I promise. But for right now, let's try something new, or old. I'm Josh Lindley, and these are a few whiskey drinks on Branching Out. Admiral McCutcheon, January 2012. Me, Josh Lindley. This is one of my drinks. 2 ounces of Bowmore 12-year, half an ounce of Cointreau, half an ounce of Fino Sherry, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Combine all these ingredients in a mixing glass, fill it with ice, stir it for 25 or 30 seconds, strain onto rocks, in a rocks glass, use a 2-inch cube if you're feeling fancy, and garnish that with an orange zest. The story that I told my old friend and writer Sarah Parniak about this drink was that a Scottish naval admiral had, in the 1700s, that whole century, negotiated trade routes for all of the United Kingdom with both France and Spain. Of course, all of those colonial powers were also exploiting the islands in the Caribbean, so between the whiskey, Cointreau, sherry, and bitters, all aspects were covered in this drink. Naming it after a retired seaman felt fitting. Convenient. Too convenient. The truth is that I created this drink for the first cocktail competition I ever entered. Bowmore was doing a big push in Ontario at the time, and it's such a distinct whiskey that I didn't want any new flavors getting in the way. As much as I like this drink, it's not exactly exciting enough to win a competition. The orange backs up the scotch, the orange as the garnish backs up the Cointreau, the saltiness of the Fino works well with the scotch as well. As memory serves, I scored really well on the flavor component, but the drink isn't showy. The name, because I know you're dying to know, is actually the name of a fictional whiskey consumed by Charles Widmore as he brutally insults Desmond Hume on the TV show Lost. And there's an old saying, never let the truth get in the way of a good story, but honestly, this story really isn't that good, is it? This drink is called An Angry Letter. It's from October 2013. This would have been a drink on the list at Bar Isabel. 1.5 ounces of Four Roses bourbon, 0.75 ounces of Amaro Nonino, a quarter ounce of Torres 5-year brandy, and a quarter ounce of Dubonnet, 3 dashes of Angostura bitters, and 2 dashes of orange bitters. Combine all ingredients in a mixing glass, fill with ice, stir for 25 to 30 seconds, and strain it into a coupe. You don't need a garnish, and you're not putting any ice in this. I hate when people put ice in coupes. Worst. The drink itself doesn't taste like an angry letter. It does taste like something you might take a big pull from before writing an angry letter. Balance here is the key. The sugar in the Amaro needs the assist from the Dubonnet. Dubonnet was a real lifesaver in the early 2010s. The LCBO, Ontario's state-controlled liquor board, was and is slow to adapt to trends and slow to adopt new ingredients. Dubonnet, for the record, is like 175 years old, so they've had it for a while. The range of vermouth available was and is still restrictive. By looking at this drink, you can tell the skeleton is a Vieux Carré, and then I took it and made it extremely 2010s Toronto. Adult Film, May 2024. This one's one of mine as well. 1.5 ounces of Deanston Virgin Oak Whiskey, half an ounce of Cocchi Storico Vermouth di Torino, a quarter ounce of Luxardo Bitter Bianco, 1 dash of Scrappy's Black Lemon Bitters, and 1 dash of Bittered Sling Clingstone Peach Bitters. Combine all the ingredients in a mixing glass, fill with ice, stir for 25 to 30 seconds, and something I didn't note, it really depends on the density of the ice that you're stirring on, so 20 to 30 seconds works for if you're in a bar or using stuff out of your fridge, but you'll figure it out. After you're done stirring, strain it into a rocks glass. Use a 2-inch cube. Use a sphere if you're fancier than me. You don't need a garnish on this drink. Before the year 2000, an adult film was something that had to be sought out. There was a kind of mystery to what you would see on that VHS or in a theater. All you knew is that if you were under 18, there's an asterisk on they, were keeping something from you. The same can be said about parental advisory stickers. Nothing that looks that badass is actually going to delay the youths from buying it. Honestly, have you seen how cool that sticker looks? In Canada, and specifically Ontario, where 96% of my bartending has happened, many spirits and fortified wines took until the 2010s to become readily available. This made world-renowned classic cocktail ingredients like Luxardo Bitter Bianco and overproof whiskey, and even good vermouth, rude, difficult to come by. Occasionally, you would meet up with a friend that had gone to Binny's in Chicago or Astor Market in New York or Cask in San Francisco, and they would tell you about what they tasted, and maybe they would share some of what they brought home with them. Just like that friend that saw Showgirls in the theater. The term adult film, though, also brings to mind something more artful than X or NC-17 ratings. The combination of vanilla, stewed fruit, and florality in this cocktail conjures shag carpet and high-backed leather Chesterfields with ashtrays built into the armrests. And that asterisk, by the way, that's they. They are everywhere. They're hiding materials from you that they know would level the playing field and give the opportunity to the underrepresented to have a say. They are the worst. But honestly, the earlier in life that we're taught, with care, how to deal with adult situations, the less traumatic life becomes, whether it's about how female bodies should be viewed and treated or how death and grief can be embraced rather than, just pushed away and hidden down. I swear, we're serious at this podcast. Hey, so what do you think? Sorry, that's too fast. Hey, so what do you think? Would you want more episodes like this? Some of these recipes that I have in my old notebooks are from old friends and former coworkers. Should I invite them to come and hang out too? Reach out to us at Bartender Atlas on Instagram and tell us. You can send us an email too if you want. This pod only gets better with more feedback. Remember that the next time your manager singles you out at lineup. If you're in Toronto next week, on Thursday night, I'm actually going to be behind the bar making drinks at the Virginia Cocktail Bar for the Bartender Atlas 10th anniversary party. I'll be making one of the drinks that I talked about today. No need to RSVP or anything, just show up anytime after 8. That's Thursday, May 28th in Toronto. Tickets for the Toronto Cocktail Conference are on sale now. Talk takes place August 10th and 11th at the Drake Hotel here in Toronto. 12 seminars, something like 25 brands, plus some parties and guest spots in and around it. Please, come hang out. Take a look at everything on bartenderatlas.com, and if you're a bartender and you haven't signed up yet, take a break from doom scrolling for a goddamn minute. Branching Out is made at Pact Studios in Toronto, written by me, Josh Lindley, additional research by Charlotte Cassinell, production by Jesse Colburn and Aaron Verdonk, music by Aaron Verdonk. Talk soon, but seriously, slide into the DMs. Did I use that right?